This is Joyce at Delightful Quilting and Sewing, a Nolting dealer in Avon, New York. Today on Tech Tuesday, I want to talk about a very important part of our machines, and that is the bobbin. All of Nolting's machines, except one model, you can have a choice of an L or an M. The Nolting Pro, the new Nolting Diamond, the former machine that was in production, the NV, you could get that in either one. And a couple of the older machines were available and a choice of an L or an M. The one model, of course, that only comes in the L-bobbin, the smaller bobbin, is the Fun Quilter. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about the bobbins, what makes them different, what makes them similar, and do you really want to go to an L or an M? You know, what's your choice if you have a choice, and why would you make that choice? So let's take a look at the Nolting bobbin. The main obvious difference is the size. Here are the bobbin cases and the bobbin. The L-bobbin and the M-bobbin. The L-bobbin is smaller, the M-bobbin is larger. How that equates to the amount of thread is about twice as much. Nearly twice as much thread will go on the M-bobbin as opposed to the L-bobbin. And yet some people today decide they want the L-bobbin. And why is that? Why are they choosing the L with a smaller amount of thread over the M with a larger amount of thread? And I think it goes back to what I would call an old wives' tale, that L-bobbins, you can adjust the tension much easier than you can on the M-bobbin. For me, that was the case. At the beginning, let me back up. Not really the case. I started out with a Fun Quilter. It only came with an L-bobbin. I had trouble learning how to adjust the tension on the L-bobbin. It was a brand new learning curve. Anytime you move to a long arm from a home machine, you're going to have to learn how to adjust the tension. And for me, that was a learning curve. So I think that's probably the bigger thing. It isn't so much that the L-bobbin holds the tension any better than the M-bobbin. It's just a matter of learning how to do it. And we do that by using the Towa gauge. Now, one of the differences between these two right here, the L and the M, is in the bobbin case. This is the L-bobbin case right here. And the M-bobbin case, they look very much the same, except the M is much larger. The M-bobbin case has a little pigtail right here. This little pigtail directs the thread. After you put the bobbin into the bobbin case and run it through the tension spring here, the thread goes through this little pigtail, which directs it right straight up through the needle hole, which I think is a distinct advantage. Other than that, the bobbin cases are exactly the same. The same lever door on the inside. Both of them have a backlash check spring. They're a different style, but they have the same function of slowing the bobbin spin down when you stop stitching. So it's a matter of using what you have here. For me, it was a no-brainer. If I could get more thread on my bobbin, I was delighted to do that. It meant fewer stops, fewer bobbin changes, all of that, and I could keep on sewing and not have to worry about stopping as frequently to fill my bobbin and change my bobbin. Now, at the machine, there's also a little slight difference as well. The needle that is used with the L bobbins is just a standard needle. It is timed with a 125/20 size 20 needle. With the M-bobbin, it's a little bit different kind of terminology. It is an MR needle, which means multi-directional. These needles allow that multi-directional movement of our machine that we have with long arm quilting so that it performs and creates a beautiful stitch every time. The sizing on this is slightly different. This is a 120/19, size 19, and it goes by MR 4.5, different type of numbering system that is used with this. Other than that, the needles are much the same. If you look at the MR needle, the one thing that does make this one different is on the very front of this, it bumps out. The whole shaft bumps out, and that bumps out where the scarf is, the curved in part is on the back of the needle. So there's as much needle all the way down through here. It doesn't get skinnier because the whole needle itself bumps out in that area right there on the multi-directional needle, and that's part of why it can give you such a good stitch. So perhaps you're thinking, oh, if I have an L machine and I want to trade in, I don't want to, I have all those bobbins I've invested in. Don't worry about it. Or you have all those pre-wound bobbins like this Magna-Glide bobbin. Don't worry about it. They just have less thread on them. There's nothing different about this one right here, whether it's an L or an M, it's just the amount of thread that's wound on it. When you trade your machine, of course, you will get bobbins of what you trade in, so don't worry about it. The real key in all of this is using the Towa gauge to set the thread, to set the tension on the bobbin case itself to work with whichever bobbin you're using. So years ago, when I was first learning how to long arm quilt with the L-bobbins, I was having a lot of challenges because I couldn't figure out, do I tighten the bottom, tighten the top, loosen, which one do I do? Finally, after I got the Towa gauge, all the guesswork went away. And I've addressed how to use the Towa gauges in other videos that I have done, but depending on whether you have the L or the M, you buy a Towa gauge specific for that, because the bobbin case has to fit into the space right here. So this is the L fitting into that one. This is the M. Bigger space here. The notch is positioned a little bit farther away, and it fits in like that. When you're testing your bobbin with the M, you do run it through the pigtail and then around the pulleys and pull it out. And the numbering system, same on both of these gauges, but the number that you want is going to be different. If it is the M, you want this to pull down and read somewhere 175 to 250. When you're first starting to use, ballpark 200 to 225, and you can adjust the tension screw right here while it is still in the case, in the gauge. With the L, run your thread through the same pulleys, but instead of reading as high, you're going to be 100 to 150 on the gauge right here for setting the tension on an L. So that's about it. There really isn't much difference between the two except the amount of thread on it. My personal opinion is, if I can get more thread in my bobbin, whoa, that's a win-win for me, and I don't have to stop as often to fill it up. So I hope this has been helpful to you in learning a little bit more about the bobbins that we use in our Nolting machines. And if you have any questions, post them below and I'll take a look. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time on Tech Tuesday.